Good evening. Welcome to the AgilCast. Professor Ruff is live, and I'm doing a late night video for one of my mini series video on the topic: Is love required for marriage? The question is love required for marriage? And we need to ask these questions because most time when people get married, it comes from the dating process. Um, it comes from the dating process. And why do people date? For me, I'm just gonna be honest. Men date because they just want to have sex, and I've always said it in previous conversations, in previous videos, and conversations that I've had. Men date because they want to have sex. It's not obvious. Even if the woman is paying for the date, the man wants to have sex. You know. Um, so I also talked about the the thing that we because we're living in the modern world in the age of internet, in the age of civilization, laws, regulations, cancel culture, the BS, we forgot that the principles of the jungle still applies. We just live in a different ecosystem. I keep saying that. We live in a different ecosystem. I keep saying that. The principle still applies. Human beings, first of all, are animals. We are animals. Forget the fact we're wearing Gucci belts and driving Rolls Royce and flying G6 planes. We are animals. We're not different from the freaking lions and chimpanzees and zebras and alligators or whales, elephants. First rule of life is self preservation. Self preservation. What's marriage? What's the purpose of marriage? Sorry, I'm kind of tired. I want to do this late video because I got the rest of my week is really um I'm really busy. I wasn't sure when I was gonna drop the next video. Um so I wanted to drop this quick video. It's not gonna be too long. So what's the purpose of marriage? People get married for love. I get that. That's supposed to be a strong package. When you're in love with somebody, the man loves the woman and the woman loves the man. It's supposed to strengthen your marriage, but we all know that love fizzles out. It's supposed to fizzle out. And this is why I always advocate that people should treat marriage as a full-time job because again it's incumbent for both parties to work on their marriage because it will fizzle out because love is pretty much tied to conditions. This is why I advocate that marriage should not be based on love, it should be based on value. Then the love comes after. So this video is basically asking the question, and I really want people to chime in on my video, you know, comment, you know, um, yeah, I'm actually struggling on my YouTube streams right now. I'm really not into trying to get subscribers because I have other things going on. But in the meantime, I will recommend people to, if you're on my Instagram, because I'm going to post this to my Instagram page, go to my YouTube channel, Professor Ruff, um, subscribe, whatever. Um, I'm not monetized on YouTube, but I do this every day. Not every day, but I do this all the time. I don't get paid posting videos on YouTube. I'm not there yet, but I keep doing this because maybe one day to pay off. Maybe if it doesn't pay off, I might keep doing it because it's a passion of mine, or I might just move on to the next thing. But however, part of my purpose is to correct culture, and the culture I want to correct is the family structure. The culture that we live in has messed up the family structure. There's lack of discipline and structure, especially with our kids. And 72% of the black community are single mothers. 72% of black women are single mothers. And how does that impact our community? Negatively. Very, very negative. But that'll be another video. That'll be another video. The consequences. Let me write it down of the consequences of the baby mama culture. Uh, Consequences of the baby mama culture. The baby mama culture came from feminism and the welfare state. But that will be another video, and I will come with information on that. Single mothers, baby mama, but I do like to differentiate single mothers from baby mama. Single mothers are women that were married and had kids and were divorced. At least they have some form of experience. I'm not going to say they had discipline, but they have some form of experience. But baby mama just had babies just because of lack of discipline and structure, selfishness. And this is why I want to talk about marriage, the importance of marriage, the purpose of marriage. And people think they should get married because they're in love. Love can be cultivated, it's a feeling. Even when you're married and even when two people are married and they don't have that, how will I put it, that infatuated love, they understand the goal of why they're married, and the love is cultivated, is cultured. Those marriages tends to last. I don't have the statistics, but it's in fact the divorce rate in America for arranged marriage is at 4%. But however, in India, it's higher. It's opposite of the United States. In India, arranged marriages tend to get high divorce rates, and the traditional love, not I will not want to call it traditional because it's not. Um, the love infatuated marriages tend to last longer, but in the US, it's the opposite. I don't know why. I think India. I think I know why. India is restrained by culture and traditional norms and customs. So with the Western influences creeping in, there's some pushback to the culture, traditional norms and customs. So I think there's some pushback there. But however, in America, we have all these freedoms and people have all these unlimited choices. And when you have unlimited choices, you can make really good decisions. When you have all these unlimited choices, back in medieval age or ancient days, settlements used to be around what anywhere from 1,000, 2,000, and it's very easy for you to get married because you have to protect your clan. But now we're living in cities of 6 million and 8 million. And with the internet, you're open to all these choices. That's why most of the time, when women, 80% of divorces are filed by women because they always think the grass is greener and they was gonna get the dream man because of they think they got choices, but they fail to take into consideration the choices they've made prior or they making at the moment when they gain their divorces or separation or whatever you want to call it, in the age, in the childbearing age, in the youthful age. Women, your value is tied to your youthful age and your childbearing age. Make no mistake about it. Your value is not tied to your degree, the house that you own, the car that you drive, the butt chicks you bought from Dominican Republic or Cuba or Dr. Miami, or the guys that you slept with, the rappers and NBA players and um, football players. Your value is not tied to that. It's tied to your youth and your childbearing age. Then, which is really primary. Then, sub primary, because it's still primary, they call it secondary, is your beauty, your weight, and your character. Then everything else is secondary. And this is what men think. If men provide access to marriages, because women provide access to sex in the womb, because they can just say, look, I'm not having this child, or you're not getting into my vagina. Women have that right. But men have right to like, hey, I have these resources. With my resources, I'm exchanging. It's pretty much economics. With my resources, I'm exchanging my resources to provide, protect, and problem solve for your womb and for you to help me. But I digress. Let me go back to the question. The question is love required for marriage? And this is what has caused a lot of issues in modern day marriages. In traditional marriages, back in olden days, Africa, and I like to use Africa as my example. Um, it was not love. Like the funny thing about love is like when you meet somebody that you really like and you're having sexual tensions with the person, or you like them and maybe they kind of like you. You start with the likeness, then you start getting to know them and they start getting to know you. That kind of love is pretty much infatuation. That 7 seconds that men have and women do have it too. It's down. It's not, hey, she's beautiful on the inside. No, that 7 seconds is your physical features. And if I'm gonna have sex with you, if I'm likely to, stick my Johnson in you, or even risk depositing children in you, hopefully you can bear those children. That's that 7 seconds. It's all sex and infatuation and lust. The love comes afterwards. When boy meets girl, is usually lost. The love usually comes afterwards. So why is love a requirement for marriage? Somebody help me with that answer. Put it in the comment box, either on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram page. Put it in the comment box. I really want to know. I want people to start engaging, not just like the video or just watch it. You guys are not even liking my videos. You guys watch it because I see how many people watch my videos. Um, But nobody wants to have these conversations though. Is love really required for marriage? And the answer is no. And I will start by reading what is the objective purpose of marriage. Okay. We hold marriage to be a lifelong and faithful union and process of choosing each other for the mutual sharing of our lives and our love. It is a union which is open to children. It is a union which is modeled after and symbolizes God ever faithful love for his people. And this except um, is coming from the three gifts of marriage: companionship, passion, and purpose. The three gifts of marriage is companionship, passion, and purpose. It doesn't really say love. But I get why people will be in love and they want to solidify their love through marriage. And I'm not knocking that because I've done that. But I've been in regular relationships where I love the person. I usually don't just love. Or in a regular relationship, I usually don't love like, oh my God, I'm in love. It's usually infatuation. I'm infatuated with the person. But when I start loving that person, that means I'm sacrificing time, my resources for that person. I'm turning the blind eye to their imperfections. I'm going extreme and bending back over to ensure that they're good. Hopefully, they do the same for me. It's a social contract. But once you start seeing that um all this is not being reciprocated to you, then you start questioning the love because love is truly conditional. When you have love for somebody or somebody has love for you, there's a condition tied to it. And that's why people fizzle out of love. But marriage, on the other hand, right? We hold marriage to be lifelong and faithful union. Faithful union, which means it's pretty much for life. And the process of choosing each other for the mutual sharing of our lives, pretty much. Not our love. They put that, you know, mushy stuff over there. Marriage should not be for love because I can marry somebody that I'm not in love with originally and cultivate the love. We can cultivate the love. But you can fall in love and get married to somebody, and once the love fizzles out, there goes the marriage. Because the marriage is based on the infatuation that you thought was love in the beginning, because it's tied to conditions. And once those conditions are not met, if you are doing certain things for a female and she loves you for that, and you start slowing down, and she starts seeing that there's a problem because you're not keeping up with how she met you, the problem with love is they fall the female that you meet or the male that you meet fall in love with the best representative of you because when boy meets girl, boy put out his best representative and the girl put her best representative, and that's what they fall in love with. They don't fall in love with the whole of that person. And when I mean the whole of that person is their character, their physical features, and the baggages that they come with, the traumas that they come with. But when you're infatuated and you're thinking you're in love, you're only in love with the best representative of the day. Oh shoot, she got thick thighs and nice hips and lips and melon looking breasts. And the woman is looking at, oh, he's six figure, he's 6 foot, and he has, 6 figure income, you know, broad shoulders, deep voice. They look at that, the sparks, the glitter, and they think it's love. And like, man, I love him. I got me the perfect man. He's over 6 foot. He's a six-figure guy, and he has no children, and he's athletic. So they love that part of that person, that best representation of that person. That's the problem. So you want to get married to the best representation of that person instead of the whole of that person, their perfections and imperfections. The idea that I just met my dream guy and I just met my dream woman. You're married to the idea. So hence, I argue that marriage should not be based on love. It should be based on purpose. Not everybody want to get married. If you want to get married, there's a purpose behind it. Why do you want to get married? That should be the reason why. It's not because I love this person. You know how many girls that I love and they love me back, but the conditions that were tied to those love went away. And I worked hard to restore those conditions and they were just like not interested. Imagine if I was married to those women, the headaches, you know, the headaches. Um, anyway, let me go ahead and read this because I really want to keep this video short and go to bed tired. Um, Love and marriage. The Pew Research Center. The Pew is a research center, and I believe in their research. It's authentic and valid and reliable. American believes that love is the main foundation of marriage, which is true, which is false. Because we in love every day with people that we are not married to. You know, we in love with people that we're not married to, and even when they break up, you break up, the relationship doesn't work out. You still have love for them, but you know that companionship is not possible. Lifelong companionship is not possible. Marriage is supposed to be a lifelong companionship that should foster the raising of children because the first rule of life, the first rule of nature is self preservation. We're supposed to preserve ourselves. And if we die, we're supposed to replace us. Man, I'm going on one, man. I don't want to. Oh, man. No. Let me count down because I don't want this video to be long. Americans believe that love is the main foundation of marriage. And most who never have been married say they would like to be at some point in their lives. However, statistics show Americans aren't rushing to the altar, and the US marriage rate is at an all-time low. Marriage build units of families. Units of families build communities, and communities build a nation. And if we don't protect the sanctity of marriage, our nation will die. Our country will die eventually. Go and ask the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire existed for 1,000 years. Just go find out why, some of the reasons that empire fizzled out. All right. Only 51% of adults were married in 2011, according to the US Census Bureau statistics. The romantic ideal of marriage plays out in survey data that shows whether they are married or not. Americans are more inclined to choose love as the reason for marriage than any other factor. Hence, low rate of marriages and high rate of divorce. Again, remember I said love is tied to conditions instead of value. All right. In the 2010 Pew Research Center survey, love wins out over making lifelong commitments, as well as companionship, having children, financial stability, and as very important reasons to wed. Financial stability as very important reason to wed. Imagine the reasons to marry for love wins over lifelong commitment. The only way you get lifelong commitment is when you get value. in your relationship with the other person. The person values you and you value the person. Having children, that's the how you raise children in a two-parent household. The woman is supposed to nurture the children, and the man is supposed to provide structure and discipline. Inspiration inspires children to become the best version of themselves so that they can go out into the world and fend for themselves, because mother and father's gonna die off. That's their replacement. And eventually the children with those value system is gonna raise their children in the same way and keep the bloodline going. Self-preservation. All right, Professor Ruff is cooking. Let me go ahead and try to round this stuff at 30 minutes. Among married people, 93% say love is very important reasons to get married. 93% of Americans. 84% of unmarried people say so. Men and women are equally likely to say love is very important reasons to get married. But love only goes so far, and most America cast cold water on central premise of many song or poem that each person in the universe has only one true love. Bullshit. There's 8 billion people in the world. You think it's is love that created 8 billion people in the world? Let me go ahead and just look at some of the statistics. Percentage saying each is very important reasons to marry by marital status. Love by married people, 93%, very, very high. Love by unmarried couples, 84%, really, really high. They hold love to be the sole reasons to get married, which is wrong. Making a lifelong commitment, 87% for married couples and 74% for unmarried couples. Companionship, 81% for married couples and 63% for unmarried couples. See how it's dropping? Having children, 59% for married couples and 44% for unmarried couples. Financial stability, 31% for married couples and 30% for unmarried couples. You see how the number dropped and love won? I'm just gonna get married because I'm in love. No, you should get married for self-preservation, people. Fuck love. Fentrose that. I'm trying not to cuss right now. Love can always be cultured and cultivated. Even when you meet someone, you might not be in love with them, but the longer you get to know them and you find about their character and their character complements you, it's gonna come. We've watched too much Disney movies and love movies and listened to too much freaking Babyface and Genuine and Tyrese and all these love songs. And that does, trust me, I enjoy these love songs. I love these love songs. But this is what is deceiving us. We forgot the main purpose for marriage is to ensure self-preservation. Love has nothing to do with self-preservation. Now, fine. Some people don't want to get married and they just want to live their life and die out and everything ends with them. Look, I support you. I used to always think like that. I used to always regret why I even had my children in this cold ass wicked world. But sometimes it's bigger than me. Having children is bigger than me. We're supposed to do that. That doesn't mean I'm knocking on people that don't want to have children. It is what it is. Not everybody's going to have children. In fact, 40% of black males may not have the opportunity to have children. And it's only going to get worse in the culture that we have, the gynocratic culture that we are in. Oh man, I'm at 30 minutes. Um, I'm not gonna go into um okay. Advantages of marriages. What are the advantages of marriages? According to the public, it's easier for married person than single person to raise families. 77% say so. But in other realms of life asked about in the 2010 Pew Research survey, most do not think either married or single people have an easier time of it. In fact, about half or more think that there is no difference between being married or single in the ease of having fulfilled sex life, being financially secure, finding happiness, and getting ahead in a career and having social status. Among the minority who says marital status does make a difference in life, marriage is deemed better in all of its listed realms but one. When it comes to getting ahead in career, being single wins out 24% to 14%. Yeah, and you're lonely, you focus on your career and you made all your millions, then you get to 60, 70 years old and you don't have anybody to pass your millions to or share your millions with. And good luck. Life is about people and relationships, not money. um anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video right here. Love should not be the requirement for marriage. Like I can see a female that okay, I'm really not in love with her, but I like her. You need because you can love somebody and not like them. I love this person. I have ex girlfriends that I still love, but I don't like them, or they don't like me, but we still love. If they see me on the street, they will help me out. And if I see them, on the street hungry, I'm inclined to help them out because of the love is there. But as far as like being around them, it's two different things. Love and like two different concepts, two different phenomenons. Okay. Um, that is why I'm like, I think we got things messed up thinking about we have to love somebody before we marry them. No, you have to see if they compliment you and their character complements you. They, especially for men, because since we're the ones that grant access to marriages and access to our resources, especially for men, you have to vet these females before you bring them into your world, into your realm, or get married to them. You might not be in love with them, but they have great character. And just because they have great character doesn't mean they don't have imperfections. The love will always come. The love will always come. It's a feeling, it's something that you nurture. But because we think that this is why I don't like shows like Married at First Sight or Love at First Sight. It's all fallacy. It's infatuation at first sight. It's infatuation married by infatuation. We confuse infatuation for love. Infatuation is almost like a drug. It's a high. The relationship is new. You want to see this person. You can't wait to see them after work or after school. You think about them all the time. Just before you call them, they call you first because your mind melting and this butterfly feeling and you know what I'm saying? It's all infatuation. Or you thinking about when you just gonna have the first sex and how it's gonna happen. It's all infatuation. Then when reality sets in, that infatuation goes away. You start having the challenges because that's what you thought about. That's what initially that's what you thought that what love is, but that's not love. It's infatuation. So once that infatuation clears off like a drug, it's like smoking weed or whatever, taking hard drugs, and your high goes away. So you constantly chase that high, the high of love, the high of no, not the high of love, the high of infatuation, because that's what you enjoy. Both couples enjoy that high. And so when that high goes away, you know how many relationships I've been in because the honeymoon stage fizzled out. I was in a relationship with a female, and all she kept saying, like, I don't want this honeymoon stage to fizzle out. And she put it on me to keep the honeymoon stage, that feeling to keep going on. That's ridiculous. It's only so much I can do. I still gotta go back to the real world and pay these damn bills and survive out here. Then once the honeymoon stage was really over, she left. I mean, it was okay for me, man. I didn't understand it at the time. And every time I was with her, she kept talking about, man, I'm scared. What are you scared about? I feel like, oh, this is gonna go away. Yeah, it's called honeymoon phase. Honeymoon phase is not love. It's still part of the infatuation. So imagine you get married off of infatuation and it fizzles out. Imagine that. That's what you base your marriage on. Please respond in the comment section on IG or my YouTube. And I'm going to end this video right here and have a great night. Your cast is out. Professor Ruff says good night and end stream.